Do you get tips? Do you take tips? I don't know that I have a problem one way or the other on one or on either one of those answers. I've got my own answer and I'll tell you about it, but that's what I'm going to talk about today. This is Bill, this is Creative License, and thank you, by the way, for watching the show. And a special thank you to those of you who have reached out to my sponsors and told them about and thanked them for sponsoring the show. Thanking them by spending money with them or just reaching out and saying, thanks for being there so that we can have a program like Creative License. My sponsors are Electro Voice and Promo Only and DJ Event Planner and DJ NTV, and of course my workshop sponsor this, which is the Entertainment Experience. Go to entertainment-experience.com if you want to know more. Just reach out to me. Tips. I've talked about tips a lot. People have asked me the question, and I've answered it the same way every single time. Do I accept tips? Yes. Do I expect tips? No. I let tips inform me. Okay. And it's always a surprise when I get them. And what it does, first of all, a tip is for those people who don't feel like that they've spent enough money for the value you gave them, okay? I tell my customers before they hire me, before they sign a contract, and when they are weeks before they give me the final due, that I do not take, tips are not necessary for me. I'm the owner of the company. I charge what's necessary to be able to be paid well. Okay, tips are for service providers, from my perspective anyway, service providers that work for big companies. Okay, waiters and waitresses, they don't make very much money. And if they go over and above what's expected, it is a good idea that you give them a gratuity. Okay, in fact, sometimes, depending on the state they live in, they're being paid way less than the regular minimum wage because they're expected that the people who come will give them a tip regardless of how good their service is, okay? DJs who get tips and I think deserve tips are the ones that work for big DJ companies, and the big DJ company's making $1,000 for the gig and they're paying the guy $100, $200, okay? You get a tip, that doesn't go to the company, that goes to the DJ who worked for less money than the lady working for less money than the lady is paying the company. Okay? Yes. Okay? Now, when I get a tip, what does it inform me? It tells me, number one, that I must have gone over and above, that what they saw from me was better than they expected. But the number one thing that it informs me on, and it certainly should inform you, is that if you're getting tipped regularly, you are not charging enough. That's your customer saying, you didn't charge me as much as you should. You gave me a deal. You're amazing. You're this much more money amazing than I had to pay you. That's what it says. So when you look at somebody and say, well, I only charge this much money because that's all I can make, but you're getting regular tips, then you're lying to yourself. And your customers are telling you the truth. The truth is that you can make more. You should charge more. And and many of you know that I charge a premium price for my service, and most of you kind of go, when I tell you how much I do charge, when I'm getting tipped, I'm being told the same exact thing. The same exact thing. You are not charging enough. You need to be charging more. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I got you so inexpensively. They're telling me that every time they give me a tip. If you're getting a lot of tips, that's exactly the information you should be taking in. Because what that does for you is it gives you a raise. You don't just go home and go, wow, look how lucky I was. Well, you can if you want. Feel lucky, be the lucky guy. But why not put that into your business and don't be lucky anymore? Just make more. I get a regular $200 tip every time I do a show. Well, then you should charge an extra $300. And then you keep doing that and you keep getting $200 tips after that. Yeah, my gosh, give yourself a raise. Your customers are telling you you're worth a lot of money. That's my opinion. There's a lot of reasons why I don't take tips. And there are a lot of reasons that I that I accept them when they're offered, because I think it is insulting to say no. If I tell them I don't want it and then they give it to me, they're telling me something. You have to be gracious, you need to be thankful, and then you need to use that information to go charge more. What do you think? I know this is a weird topic for people, man. It's a little scary, I know, but it's my opinion. I'm sure you have one of your own, and if you want to share it with me, do it in the comments below or send me a note. Otherwise, I'll see you next week on Creative License.